Hello everybody and welcome back to Cuddles R Us. So I just hopped on and seen the patch notes for the Dune Awakening 1.2.10.0 public test client patch that was released today, September 19th, 2025. So this patch, from what I've been reading, is absolutely packed with exciting features, like the brand new replace mode for building, instant loot in PvP areas, huge vehicle upgrades, along with tons of fixes that make the game smoother than ever. So buckle up your ornithopter, because we're going to go through everything you need to know. And hey, if you do enjoy these breakdowns, please make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss the latest patch notes and gameplay updates from us. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I want to start with is basically the highlights overview. Let's start with those biggest changes that we're going to see that's going to impact everybody. So replace mode and building. Basically, you can now swap out building pieces directly with compatible ones. So that means if you want to change your look or anything like that, you don't have to tear down your walls completely just to upgrade. You can actually just go in and replace them, which will be wonderful. It's a great time saver. Also, instant loot in PvP. That means every player is now going to get their own loot in those PvP zones, which makes fighting and clearing areas actually rewarding for every player, rather than just one. Also, deep desert loot rework. Schematics no longer rotate weekly. You're going to be able to farm them each week without waiting for a reset. Also, there's a vehicle recovery tool that is now available. So basically, if you lost your buggy to a worm, absolutely no problem. You can now recover destroyed or lost vehicles for a fee. Also, the vehicle rendering distance has been changed. Vehicles are now visible for up to 2 kilometers away, so there should be no more surprise pop-ins. So if you're a PvPer, make sure that you take an account of that before you try to gank somebody. Also, finally, wind traps are going to be smarter. They're going to stop consuming filters once your water storage is full, so that'll be a major time saver and resource saver as well. Already, these changes feel like major quality of life upgrades that will shake up how we play Dune, for sure. Alright, so now let's start with going deeper into the building and crafting aspects. The piece picker is now its own action, which is going to be working in both build and replace modes. That makes it way easier to keep your base layouts consistent all the way across the board. Also, as I mentioned earlier, wind traps won't waste filters anymore if your storage is maxed out, so that right there is a big win for resource management. I also mentioned about the PvP loot being instanced. That is just an absolute game changer. Everyone who opens a container is going to get something, and the loot tables have been balanced to reflect that. Also, PvP still does have a higher drop rate than PvE, so it is definitely worth the risk if you're willing to try it. We also got some crafting cost reductions though. Specifically, the Mark III buggy modules are now cheaper to create. Also, one that is very interesting to me, crash ships now include new unique loot, which is going to make exploration more rewarding just overall. I know I am personally excited to see what this unique loot may be, and I'm hoping it is something that is definitely worth our time. In these patch notes too, combat also did get some love. The rocket launcher can once again lock onto characters and vehicles, but you will need to target lock before firing. Also, missile consistency has been improved, which makes them more reliable overall. And some assassination contract NPCs are now tougher, which should make contracts more engaging and enjoyable for everybody. And for customization fans, spit dart rifles now have their own weapon subcategory, so if you do enjoy that, make sure to check it out. Now, moving on to vehicles, honestly, I think vehicles saw some of the most exciting updates in this patch. The vehicle backup tool now has a recovery mode, so if your vehicle is destroyed by a sandworm, Coriolis storm, or combat, you can recover it, fully repaired and refueled, for a fee. The catch? Each recovery reduces max durability by 15%. You can recover up to 5 vehicles at a time, but you've only got 72 hours before they're gone forever. Now this one right here is huge for any PvP players, PvE players who have to journey into the PvP that do not want to, and they're so worried about losing their things, which I am one of them for sure. You don't have to worry so much about PvP players anymore. If you get destroyed, alright, you'll take a durability hit, but honestly, 15% really isn't that bad when it comes to recovering and reharvesting all those materials to make your vehicle. So this is something that's going to change the complete dynamic all the way around. Also, there were some other changes. Vehicles can now be set as respawn points, and the rendering distance, as I mentioned earlier, has been boosted to 2 kilometers. So that sneak up won't be there anymore. Also, the Ornithopter category was renamed to Light and Medium for future growth of the game, and there were tons of collision fixes, new hologram meshes, and repair improvements as well. This system basically adds real stakes to vehicle management without punishing players too harshly, so it should be a nice balance for everybody. Now, let's go look on the exploration side. The Deep Desert loot structure is overhauled, as I mentioned earlier. All schematics are available each week, divided by area-specific pools. No more waiting for those weekly rotations to figure out what schematic you're going to need next. Also, players entering the Deep Desert will now spawn near a taxi service, which makes it easier to get out alive. Also, Landsraad sync chart delivery requirements have been slashed from over 24,000 down just to 1,000. For story and new player experience, Aristi's etchings are now more accessible. Rewards from journeys can now be reclaimed if your inventory was full, and merchant delivery contracts now start by helping you acquire the resource instead of dropping you in the cold. Next up is user interface changes for quality of life. Now, there's going to be new alerts for base power failures and unpaid taxes, as well as having vehicles being able to be chosen as respawn points. Also, improved debuff visuals, clearer level up notifications, and more accurate time of day UI will become available. Also, search functionality in menus is smarter, which means multi-keyword and category-friendly terms. And event logs show NPCs that killed you, permission changes, and even base or vehicle renaming. Small touches, but they do add up to a smoother experience overall. Of course, no patch is complete without fixes and stability improvements. Some of the big ones that I was reading about includes fixed crashes when connecting to vendors and improved unstuck mechanics so you don't get trapped in the terrain. Also, better server stability and fewer ghosting or artifact issues, along with tons of combat fixes. So that's anywhere from NPC AI behaving better to rockets and missiles actually working correctly. Also, vehicles no longer bug out with climbing, mining lasers, or collisions, and there are dozens of story contract issues that have been addressed with smoother quest flows and fewer blockers. And finally, animations, audio, and visuals have been polished, from ornithopter effects to cinematic lighting. And that's the 1.2.10.0 public test patch for Dune Awakening. So this update shows just how committed the devs are to refining the experience, whether it's making PvP more rewarding, building easier, or ensuring we don't lose everything when the sandworm swallows our ride. Remember, this is the public test client right now though, so your feedback is vital. Please jump in, try the changes, and let the team know what works and what needs tweaking. If you did find this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you stay updated on all things Dune Awakening. And as always, if you got some questions or you want to team up, reach out to us here on Cuddles R Us. Thanks for watching, Sleepers, and we'll see you on Arrakis. For those of you who have stuck around to the end, I do have a new song that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. It is called The Sand Will Swallow You, and I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye, guys!
You laugh in the shadows, hiding in the dunes' embrace, calling thunder with your thumper, leaving chaos in your wake. You summon death from the deep, think the desert is your game, but the sand remembers, and it will whisper your name. You thought the worm was your weapon, you thought we'd fall to your hand, but the desert has no master. You'll be buried in the sand. The sand will swallow you. The spice won't hide your sin. Your grief won't break us down. The skill will always win. Your thumpers mark your doom. The desert takes its due. And when the worm comes calling, it's coming straight for you. You prey on the weak, you strike from behind, but revenge rides the storm with the fury divine. The Fremen have warned, no trick ever lasts. The sleeper will wake and erase your past. You thought the worm was your weapon, you thought we'd bow to your plan, but the desert has no master. You'll be crushed beneath the sand. Your thumpers mark your doom. The desert takes its due. And when the worm comes calling, it's coming straight for you. No escaping the night, no shadows to hide. The dunes are alive and they're shifting with pride. You'll hear the rumble, you'll feel the ground quake. One final mistake is all